If everybody can stand for a minute. Just 1 minute. Not too long. Yeah? Come forward. It is not just through the internet the world is getting smaller. The world is getting smaller because our people are becoming more and more conscious. Conscious of the only reality, their culture. Our culture is our reality. Our culture is our brand. Our culture is our lives. Everybody else, we know, they excel, and they will always watch back, even if one is Muslim. They will say, the reason why I perform jihad. And as we know, jihad is not just going to Afghanistan or going to Syria and fight. When they go to the universities, they perform jihad. They pass all their subjects and come out with all their degrees, and they will say it is in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? I was successful. We have a lot of success stories in our tradition as well. Not just in Trinidad, throughout the world. But just like our areas in Trinidad and our areas maybe in America and so on, we will have one Orisa yard here. How much Orisa yards down the road? By the corner. Just one. And I've been coming here since this height. And I'm 45 years old. Now, what I'm getting at is this. When we hold on to what is ours, and we show the beauty and splendor of what is ours, it lives on. And not only live on, but in time, somebody will say, you know what? I want to do the same thing. I need more information. And we have storytellers. We have people who are willing to put information in books. What was one of the things that they said? To keep something away from the African man, put it in a book. You will read it and just be there. In time, maybe they'll like make kites with it or something. Now we have a brother from the United States. And I'm talking about a true brother. Not somebody who come in and try to fleece our monies with all these 1,000,001 titles over this and over that and whatever. When you check their history in Yoruba land, it's a lie. We're talking about a brother who is willing to understand our tradition and how our tradition survived for how many years? How many years? 500 years. 500 years of oppression, and yet still we still survive. As I said before, I was coming to this year this high. And I brought him here today, and the chapel is still there. The issue is still here. You see? And I'm 45 now. So I'm proud to say that the shrine of Orunmila stood the test of time. And it is still here. For a brother who is willing to understand our culture and add to our culture. Because that is what it's about. One day Bimbola sat right here. Sat right here with the elder Agba, Uncle Sam. I knew him as Uncle Sam. He taught me how to box, you know. Sat right here and he said one thing. Listen, don't take away. Add to what you already have. And that is what we continue to do in the Caribbean. I think the vibrations that we are sending out are now starting to attract the correct people to our spaces. And I can say, without a doubt, that Babalawo or Bafemi is one of the few brothers who truly making a difference in the diaspora. And we are happy to have you at the shrine of Orunmila. The shrine that I remembered Osayin dancing on my sister, Ogun coming on my mother. An old shrine. We are happy to have you here. Without any further ado, Obafemi Iya, this is the second mother of the shrine. I would like you to meet her.
Beautiful, yeah.
This is the meeting of people from different spaces, but the intention.
It's a singular honor for me, in the absence of my mother, to stand on the ground and welcome you. She's been doing this for 40 years plus, and the home still stands. Her principles still stands, and the tradition is strong. She does it the way she's been taught to do it before. She doesn't give anything or take away. And on behalf of my mother and the Shrine of Orunmila and our members, I want to welcome you to our home, which is also Papa home. And hope that we can get from you and you can give to us, because there's learning anywhere you go. Yeah. There's something to be learned. If we come and we didn't get anything, we won't open. So we open to take and we open to give. And we welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about you? Want to say anything?
You humble me today. Really. It's an honor to be here. A privilege, and I feel very blessed to be in this place with you all. You said so many things that touched my mind and my heart. So I thank you for making space for me to say something. In 1999, I was in Sacramento at the Yoruba Heritage International Conference. And Baba Wande was there. And there was all Yoruba people from throughout Yoruba land. And he got up on the podium and he addressed everyone. He said, "You all don't know this, but you're a part of an enormous global empire." Because these are all Nigerian Yorubas. You're part of an enormous global empire. And this empire is growing by leaps and bounds. And if you're not careful, you're going to find yourselves left behind and left out. And this is what he's saying to his fellow Nigerians. It struck me after well, even before he finished this conversation, another man, a pastor, came up after Baba Wande. And he was furious. He said, "We can't be going about what Oya said, and what Shango said, and what Obatala said. It's about what the Lord Jesus Christ said, and nothing else." Baba Wande just, he was sitting down by now. Baba Wande never even twitched a little bit to the left or the right, just as cool as ice. Okay, that's Orunmila. So I learned what it means to be bold and cool as a Babalawo. And after the conference ended, I went to Baba Wande and I said, "Baba, I appreciate what you said, and I as an African American, I want to understand, what do you suggest? What's the way forward for us?" And he said, "Well, you have your own way. You have your own way of speaking. You have your own way of eating. You have your own way of praising. You have your own way of mourning the dead. Keep that. Do that. Be that. And the way will show itself to you going forward." And so that's what I have always sought to do in my worship, in my devotion. I have, this book. I think this is the second book that I wrote. I never intended to be an author. I never considered myself, someone qualified to write about the tradition. But in my devotion, I kept finding spaces and gaps and things that, needed to be explained further. And I couldn't find someone to explain it. So as I explained it to myself, and then I explained it to other people who were my students, they became more and more notes. And so I started to pull them together and share them with people, and I found, okay, this is valuable. People are learning from this information, so let me, be responsible about it and package it up and make it available to people. And so that's what I've been trying to do at every stage of my development, figure out what is it that I need to know most at this point. If it's prayers, how do I need to make these prayers digestible to people? If it's an understanding of the big picture of how the tradition works, what the basic beliefs are, let me put those down so I can share them with other people, and those basic questions will be answered. And so that's all I've tried to do, is just answer my own questions and then share the answers that I come up with other people. Yesterday I saw Putin, the president of Russia, made some really revealing remarks about Africa. He says Africa is a cemetery to the African, is what he said. This is the head of Russia. Africa is a cemetery to the African. Now I have to paraphrase it, but he studies in the U.S. He shops in Europe. He sends his children to school in England. He consumes in China. And he goes on and on about all the, when he makes money, he invests in Germany and keeps his money in Switzerland. Which basically said the African has lost value for his own. And we have to realize that that's part of what we in the diaspora embody. We're the future of Africa. Everything that Africa is to become is here. Everything that Africa is to become is in California. It's in New York. What all of the process of evolution and growth is going to become what we've already endured for 500 years. And so our determination to remember who we are and to be who we are under threat of death, under threat of torture, under threat of complete isolation, our courage to just stand and say, I refuse to sit down. I refuse to ignore where I come from. I refuse to just carry on with business as usual when I see you abusing my people, my heritage, and my history. I refuse to sit down. It's ironic, but it's true, that we're showing a way for Africa to do the same at home. And so that's why when I say I'm honored to be here with you, I'm honored. This is a powerful pillar of culture and tradition that, for me, represents the strongest warrior spirit that one could ever muster, the greatest courage that anyone could ever have. And so I thank you for allowing me to be here with you. And I pray that you enjoy 500 more years of growth, 500 more years of prosperity, 500 more years of happiness and abundant joy. Sure.
He wants to present you with the fundamentals of Orisa lifestyle.
Yes. This text is my own attempt to just give a blueprint of what I've seen in the tradition everywhere that I've lived. And so as the fundamentals, these are just the basic assumptions that the tradition makes that a person would know in order to be a devotee. And so if you would accept it and devour it and tear it to shreds and tell me what you think really what's missing, what needs to be taken out, I'd be very happy to get your response.
Accepted on behalf of the church and the members. I will make it available to the members. We go through it, we will compare, we will make notes, and we will give you feedback.
Thank you.
Promise. Thank you.
So, the brother is here to experience. Okay. Experience what we have been experiencing since we know ourselves. That power, that shape, that vibration, that allow us to survive for 500 years. With all the oppression, we still survive. I remember once somebody told me a story about Gautama Buddha. when Gatima was founded upon 5,000 or 6,000 lotus plants or something like that. And I said, you know, that story sounds good. It sounds beautiful. But the best story you could ever be told, walk into an Orisa lake, and you will see hundreds of Gatima Buddhas walking all through. People who were oppressed, and we still have the ability, after the Ebo is done, to sit and converse. After the Ebo is done, still teach. Because it's in our DNA. To never stop. So the brother said to experience our vibrations, and I'm sure tonight is one night, you'll be here tomorrow night as well. So, you know, there's 2 nights of fire. 2 nights of fire. Ashe?
Mojuba ya legbe zolona.